Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you are watching this. Hope you're having a fantastic day and welcome to your latest Forest video. In today's video, following up from last month, we will be revisiting the Forest top 10 players of the season so far. We'll be judging them on performance, on attitude, on improvement. And guys, this is just a fun video and it's my opinion. But do let me know down below maybe your top 3 Forest players and the order and why you've selected them. Before we get into it, I just want to say a massive thank you. We've smashed £1,500 for Nottingham Hospital's charity. I've spoken to them today and they send their deepest gratitude to all of you guys as well. We've drawn the winners for the 3 shirts. I've had one person come back and claim. So the other 2 that I've won, please do come back and claim. It's on the community post. So go there and double check on the channel homepage to see if you won, if you missed the live stream yesterday. Or go watch the Forest Forum from last night. It was one hell of an interesting debate. Loads of really deep issues and questions were asked, and loads of them were answered by our wonderful panel. Again, I thank them all for the time they spared for it. All right, guys, let's get into this. This is going to be good fun. And as always, before we do, if you'd be kind enough to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to become a member, it's 99p. Hit that join button down below. Let's jump into it. All right, so we'll go from 10 to 1 on this one. And I'm going to start off with my number 10, which is going to be Renan Lodi. Renan Lodi has played a few games, but has clearly been struggling to adjust to life in the Premier League to start with. However, over the last few games, I think he's been one of the best performers on the pitch. I've always backed this boy. I know a lot of you are going to banter with me in the comments down below and say Renan Lodi goggles on. And I'll say, yeah, probably, but he makes for me the top 10. Try and do a top 10 and see how hard it is to get an order. And then see how hard it's going to be for everyone to agree with you. But this guy is going to go from strength to strength. I feel he's now locked in at our left back position. And in my opinion, over the last couple of games, he's actually helped Lingard to improve on the pitch and in the performance. Let's see if he does carry on improving. He wasn't even on the list last month when we did it. But for me, right now, I've got Renan Lodi in number 10. Let me know if you agree or disagree. In at number 9 and out from the cauldron of Wolverine saying he had no interest in him or not wanting him to be part of the squad, for me is Czech Kyoto. He has been very solid over the last month or so and has played some really good football. I do feel that he struggles to get 90 minutes under his belt, but when he's on there, for me, the one thing that stood out for him more than anything else is some of the leadership qualities he's been showing on the pitch, and that has helped the rest of the team to gel and become a bit more cohesive. For me, it's still not my front choice for a starter in that midfield 3, but the job he's done and the way he's performed and that Prem experience that he brings to the Forest team, this new Forest team, I think, and I'm happy to admit and say that he has surprised me with the turnaround in his performances. He also does offer a lot of versatility to the team, can play as a CDM, which I think is where he should be playing. He's playing as a box-to-box, and in an emergency can fill in at centre-back. So overall, Czech, I've got to say, you've definitely improved. You've definitely made me scratch my head about your performances and put a smile on my face to see the great improvement. Because at the end of the day, we want for all these players to be fantastic players. But Kyoto for me is number 9. Let's jump into number 8. And for me, number 8 has to be Owoni. He has scored our most goals with a very limited and very staggered run in the team. He does play with a smile on his face. I know sometimes that infuriates some of the fans, but it is nice to see a player enjoying his football. He still has plenty of improving to do, don't get me wrong. But his goals have been key. The goal at Liverpool, the goal at West Ham, both of those earning us 3 points. So you could argue his value and contribution to the team has been massive. I still would like to see him played on a regular basis with a regular run in the team given to him. But for me, Awoni is scoring goals. They may not be the prettiest, but they are tallying up some really important points for Nottingham Forest. So I've chucked him in at number 8. You may disagree, you may agree. Let me know down below. In at number 7, and this one you could probably argue for and against it, maybe even go higher or lower, but I've put Mangala in at number 7. He's a player we haven't seen much of this season, unfortunately, with an injury that kept him out for a fair few weeks. But every time I've seen him on the pitch, I can hand on heart say I've not been disappointed with the way he's performed. He is that midfielder that I feel is going to be key to us staying in the Premier League this season. But we just need to see him fit and get a sustained run in the team. I feel this guy will be a top 3 player for us, 100%. Let's just see him get a sustained run in the team after the World Cup break, and hopefully we can enjoy the fruits that he can provide onto the pitch. Not only that, but he's always willing and able to take the ball from deep. He can progress it forward. He's very powerful, and I think one of our better signings of the summer. I'd love to put him higher, but unfortunately, with the lack of game times he's had, I think 7 is as high as you can go with him, in my opinion, but you may agree or disagree. Into number 6 we go, and I'm going to put Freuler in there. Freuler, for me, has been very consistent as of late. He started to really show the form that he had at Atlanta. I still believe he's playing too deep in the team. I would like to see him playing more in and around the halfway line. But his class and his quality and his ability to find great passes and really be that engine room that ticks, well, the ticking engine room, should I say, for the Forest midfield is starting to show. Let's see if we can get him played higher up the pitch, and I think he flies up easily into the top 5. He's very experienced, has great leadership qualities, and I know he's a bit of a fan opinion splitter in the Forest fan base. But for me, I think 6 is quite fair for him, and that's where I've put him in. Into the top 5 we go, and number 5 is going to be a player who finished in the top 2 in this rating last month. But I've moved him down into number 5. And overall, look, it's probably a bit harsh on him, but the players, it's more so there are other players who have stepped up and are performing consistently and solidly that have pushed Henderson down slightly. You can argue 2 ways on this one. You can argue he's conceded a lot of goals. Most of them are worldies that he could do nothing about. But at the same time, he has saved us and given us points with the penalty saves against West Ham, to name 3 points just there on its own. Henderson, I love his attitude. I love his passion. I love the way he plays, but does need to improve on his distribution. But this can only be helped by defenders and midfielders making sure they're available for passes to be received from him. So nothing about him getting worse in this, but it's about other players starting to shine and improve as we move forward. So Dean Henderson, I've got in at number 5. This one you may disagree with, and I'd understand it, but just let me know why in the comments down below. Into the top 4, and for me, number 4 goes to Ryan Yates. Ryan Yates has been the most improved player from the start of the season to current day as we record this, and hopefully he will only go from strength to strength. His desire, his passion is clear for every Forest fan to see, and he really has embedded the spirit of Nottingham. For me, Ryan Yates just has to keep on developing, has to keep learning from those great experienced players around him. The likes of Freuler, I think, will be a great influence on this young chap's development throughout this season. I know a lot of you may put him in at number 1 or 2 or even the top 3, but I just want to see him develop throughout the season and get better and better. So this one, I think, as always, when it comes to Ryan Yates, is the fan splitting opinion. But let me know where you would place Ryan Yates in the top 10 so far this season. Into the top 3 we go. And if you've been enjoying the video so far, please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. For me, one of the most consistent players we've had, one of the best buys we've had in the summer, but just not getting that run in the team currently. I'm judging him on all his performances. He's played a decent amount of games and has only had one bad game, in my opinion. Outside of that, he's been at least a 7 out of 10 performer every single match. Who am I talking about? None other than Lewis O'Brien, Lob, or the Lobster, as he's known and become belovedly tagged with. He is, for me, one of hell of a midfielder. A lot of people say they remind him of Scholes. I would never disgrace him by tagging him to a scummy Man United player, but I can see what they're getting at. He has passion, desire, strength, real good ability to press high up the pitch and plays that box-to-box role in an outstanding manner. I've got Lewis O'Brien at number 3. He was in the top 2 when we did this last month, so has moved down a place, but that's down to performances from a couple of other guys. But overall, you can't argue Lewis O'Brien has been a shining light of the season so far, and let's hope he starts to get a run back into the team. As we head into the top 2, this was really, really difficult to split these guys. But I've got there in the end, and I've changed this. Well, I've changed the order about 100 times. Anyone who tries to do this, and I ask you guys to go ahead and do it. And remember, we're doing it for a bit of fun. How many times have you changed your list while doing it? That would be interesting to know. It took me 5 attempts to finally seal it off, laminate it, as Ross would say in Friends, and get it into this top 10. For me, number 2 is, drumroll, Morgan Gibbs-White. I think we are seeing the birth of a star. I think this guy is going to go from strength to strength. The joke from the Wolves fans about 42 million price tag on him will be nothing compared to what he's worth if he carries on the trajectory he is going at. That goal against Brentford for him the other week really helped grow his confidence, and he's going from strength to strength. But even before that, I feel he's been a very consistent player. I feel he had a little quiet patch in and around the Arsenal match. But outside of that, he's really put the effort in, and it's his skills and his ability to thread a through ball. His through balls are one of the best in the Premier League, I promise you that. In fact, his progression into the final thirds across the Premier League is in one of the highest there is. I've seen a lot of stats on it, and we are very, very lucky to have him. Look, is he higher than some of you guys would put in? Maybe, but for me, I just want the team built around him, and I want him to have a long and prosperous career at Nottingham Forest, and currently, he's my number 2. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree with that? Let me know down below. Here we go, guys. Number 1, and can you guess who I think it should go to? This guy has been so solid since the moment he crossed that white line. I can't think of a game he's had that has been less than a 7 or even an 8 out of 10. He's consistent, full of Premier League experience, full of leadership, and integrated so well within that squad. You can see that the squad love him. You can see that he's influencing the younger players as well. And it's no coincidence that since he's been embedded into the team, Forest have stopped conceding a bucket full of goals, apart from the Arsenal game. Even in the Arsenal game, he was probably one of the only standout players on the performance on that pitch that day. And my man, the raggy doll, the one who was chucked away, who's found his home in the City Ground in Nottingham, is none other than Serge Aurier. This is a player that I would say hasn't slowly grown on me, but has very quickly grown on me. And for me, a person who loves attacking football and the attacking players in football, for a defender to get into my number 1 position tells you everything you need to know about what a great player he is. Just compare him from where he came from in Spurs, who are now playing with Emerson Royale, who keeps our beloved Jed Spence out the team. And ask any Spurs fan, would they take Serge Aurier back over Emerson Royale? And I guarantee you most of them will say yes. He is so good that the question about Jed Spence rejoining us in January on loan begs the answer, do we actually need him? And is he good enough to push Serge Aurier out of the team? On current form, and I love Spence, you would have to say no. Serge is a lockdown in that position and has made it his own. For me, he's even showing signs of captain material. The way, just watch every goal we've scored so far over the last few weeks and watch who is celebrating it with the most passion. Loads of the players are, but the person who makes sure he is there, coming from the defensive area to congratulate with passion any of the goal scorers, is always Serge Aurier. It's a joy to watch. But look at the way he solidified that defense. But it's the football mind that I love about him. The way he can get up the field at the right time and the way he's never caught in front of the ball is brilliant. When he came, I said that my brother and the other Spurs fans I know have said he's a walking red card. He's a walking clumsy challenge. But they still loved him. But they said to be careful. So far, we've seen none of that. And long may it continue, and long may he continue to perform in the manner that he has so far. Do you guys agree with this number one choice or not? Let me know down in the comments below, and let me know your top three. I love, as always, to see your opinions on all of this. Alright guys, so that concludes the top 10 list for today. Fear not though, with the football gone, we will still be around. Well, some of you may fear that fact, but we will still be bringing you Forest updates. They may not be daily, but anytime there's a Forest story to talk about, we will bring it to you. We will also be starting our World Cup coverage, which will come with daily news for you guys as well. We will inform you on the matches that are happening. We will inform you on the players to watch, any fun and interesting stories from the World Cup. And on top of that, we will be doing watch-alongs. And, sorry, just one more thing on the news. We will have Forest Watch, which will be the Forest players in the World Cup, and we'll keep you posted on how they are performing. We will be doing live watch-alongs for those teams as well, including the likes of Wales, England, and whoever you guys want to see, really. I'm open to do as much or as little watch-alongs as you want. Let me know down in the comments below. But we will get through this World Cup period together as we look forward to Blackburn in the Mickey Mouse Cup, and then followed by an away tie to Manchester United. Wolverine versus Twist. It's been a long time coming, and this one means nearly as much to me as that Spurs game does. So, thank you for watching, guys. We will be back tomorrow. Please do like the video before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you would like to support what we are doing here, please do become a member. Don't forget to go check out the community tab to double check if you won those shirts. Congratulations to all three of those winners, and we will see you tomorrow. Come on, you Reds!